And we're live. All right, guys, we'd like to welcome you to the Mad Maker Show. And our co-host and mod is JP Woodwork. Hey, JP.
How you doing, everybody? You can find all my stuff at my new website, thanks to Steve Nealon at Harnell Media at JP-Woodwork. Also, we've got Javi's Woodshop has got a 30-day impossible challenge for November. The video is going to be posted tomorrow, so you can go and check that out. And speaking of Javi's Woodshop, I really want to thank him as well for he's done a lot of work behind the scenes for some logos that he's been cleaning up and things like that for the putting that way, the Makers International podcast logo cups that we're doing. And you can find that at makersinternationalpodcast.com.
Excellent. So thank you, Javi. He's also worked on a secondary website that I have to do with media, video intros, music, and all that. I'm going to have that website live soon. So thank you, Javi, for that. And harneelmedia.com, they support us, sponsor us. And for makers like us, they'll help build a website for you, and it's all very personal, and you get what you want. This show, the Mad Maker Show, it's all about how people that create are slightly, could be, maybe not, more often than likely they are slightly just missing a couple of screws here and there. Not bad. Could be negative. They could be axe killers, but more often than not, they're just super creative and can't find their way back home, in time for dinner. So Mad Maker Show, today's guest is Matt Haas from Awesome Wood Things. Hey, Matt.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Mad Maker Show guests. Chat room is already starting to fill up. Good stuff. I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Eloy, for having me. JP, I apologize in advance.
Always a pleasure.
Well, I did want to mention one other thing. These shows, after they're done and recorded, what I've been doing is doing some write-ups for them and putting them on my website, which is rockinwoodworks.com. And so I do that little extra step. So, Matt, I hope you don't mind me writing up some stuff about you after the fact.
All good, brother. All good.
All right. Awesome, Dave. So we know each other. All of us know each other. We've been friends for a good while now, and we have a bit of history in the maker community. First of all, where are you from? And just give us a little background so people get a better picture of you.
Awesome. I'm from Pennsylvania. That's where I live now. I have a design degree in commercial art and visual communication. So I have been doing artwork all of my career, textbook publishing. So you open a textbook and you see all the illustrations. Well, someone has to draw that. That was me. So I did that forever and got promoted, supervisor, manager, blah, blah, blah. And then I wasn't being creative. So I figured out other ways to be creative. And one thing is woodworking, because when I labor on a website for hours and hours and weeks and I turn the computer off, all my work goes away. But when you make something out of wood, it persists. And that weird notion is something I just love. So I love being creative in the physical world because I spent my career being creative in the digital world. So picked it up as a hobby. It is a hobby. I tried to do some production stuff and that was kind of successful, but I'm pulling away from that and keeping that very minimal because I want to continue it being something I love to do, and I don't want to feel like it's work. So yeah, I've always been creative. I like the usually the smaller types of crafts is what I'll stick to, and I'm inspired by sci-fi, beer, wine, spirits, Rocky Horror Picture Show, geek culture, pop culture. I love, making things out of wood that you wouldn't typically see, and something that's creative. It's a great hobby. I picked it up. I ran with it. All my tools are secondhand, Craigslist. I love shopping on Craigslist. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've done a lot of really awesome things in the shop, and most of it is in my office, hanging up on the walls or somewhere. And I love it. I love thinking about something cool to do and physically building it. It's great.
Well, when I first heard of you, but I just thought, Twidell, why'd you go and do that, Twidell? I'd like to thank you, Twidell, for that. So when I first encountered you, it was through Ryan Bitters. I believe that's the case. I don't have a clear picture of it, but he mentioned, yeah, there's this dude, and you should check out his channel. And he said, just check out Awesome Wood Things on YouTube. Type it out like that, Awesome Wood Things. And last thing that I expected to run across was the refreshing way that you create projects, videos, and the themes, like you said, geek culture, movies, film, and just in a very creative and refreshing way. 80s retro. You love the 80s, don't you?
Oh man, the 80s was the best. I don't care what anyone says. It was the best. I think, whenever you were 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever decade that was, that's the best. And for me, that was the 80s. And boy, I had a blast. Good music, good crowd, no responsibilities, disposable income. Oh man, bring on the 80s. I love it.
Now, it looks like you're in your office right now, but you have your workshop. Is it in your basement? How does that work? Where's your workshop?
It's a basement workshop. That's right. The whole basement is nothing but workshop. So I go downstairs. It's the happy place.
And in your videos, people can see what you have. You go in in your videos, you have nice, beautiful shots, close-ups. Then you show, there's just a whole slew of vantage points to your videos. But you have workshop shots, so people should check that out. What are the tools that you most go to? What do you have in your shop, and what do you dig mostly? What are the tools that you really dig?
Awesome. Well, the tools I have are the typical woodworking suite of tools. I do not own a lathe, so scratch that off the list. I do want to own one, but I just haven't got there yet. So everything else, table saw, router table, disc sander, benchtop sander, small bandsaw, scroll saw, table saw, planer, jointer, and a tilling miter, arbor, chop saw, miter saw, and then an X-carve, which isn't working right now. And the thing I like the least is the chop saw, the miter saw. I can't get it accurate, so I tend to do as many things with the table saw. I favor the table saw. As with most woodworkers, it's the Cadillac station in the shop, and I try and do as many operations on the table saw as I can, especially operations I could do on the chop saw. If I can perform those on the table saw, I will, unless I'm chopping down 2x4s or something where it's not real precise, where it doesn't need to be precise. So yeah,
now your videos and your projects, again, another thing that I really dig, and that's why we had the banner with the 80s. Did you like that banner that we did for you, the promo?
The promo,
poster?
yes. That was so 80s with the grids in the background, the glowing grids in the background. Yeah, and even the font was 80s. I love it. Yeah, that was great.
I dig the way, because you have a project, but you add a story and cultural things that people can take a bite out of and and go back and search if they don't know, or it reminds people of a certain time in the past.
Right.
And you do it in such a pop way. I mean, it's fun, right? Your videos are fun.
Intro, I try and talk about what I'm going to do and why I did it, and I show the finished piece. And frankly, I haven't quite figured out if that's the best way to do it. Frankly, there's no right or wrong way to make a YouTube video, but so I try and talk as briefly as I can. But you're right, I try and take the viewer on an experience of why I did it, why I'm energized about what I did, why I'm jazzed about it, why I'm psyched about it, and then go into actually making it. And I hope that people will wait those 30, 40, 50 seconds for me to talk about, because I really like that part of it. I like talking to the camera as if I'm talking to a person and showing the excitement. That's what I think is critical. Like, you have to love what you're doing. You have to be excited about what you're doing. And I try and put that into my videos. So when someone watches it, I'm hoping they say, there's someone that's having a really good time. You know, there's someone that's enjoying what they're doing and is really psyched about what they're making. And if that comes across, I'm thrilled. Yeah, the little monologue in the beginning, I love doing it. I hope people like that part of it. Some people, you know, they do that as they're making it, as a voiceover. I try and do that too, but for now, that's kind of the style, and we'll see if that sticks. But you're right, it's story. I love the story, and I'm hoping that resonates, and it seems to be working pretty well so far.
Well, a little bit ahead here, we're gonna show some of your work and pieces, and you can give us a little bit of a backdrop on those projects. Before that, though, if there's any questions out there in the chat, you're welcome to start.
Matt was getting a bit of hate for not owning a lathe, and
Oh,
for starters,
Who was that?
It started off with Steve Twidell and Shogun Jimmy.
So here's my thing, okay? You know, it's like the lathe, it seems like all of the accoutrements are so expensive. So it's not the price of the tool. It's like you spend 3 times as much on everything you need. I mean, not that that's a barrier, you know, but by any stretch. It's kind of like when you go to a sporting goods store, it's really a golf store with other sports around it, because that's like the high-end thing. So it's kind of, when you walk into Woodcraft, oh, it's a wood turning store with other things around it, because they probably make all their money off the wood turning. Not that that's a bad thing, and not that it's really keeping me away. I just haven't got to that yet in the woodworking journey, because, you know, I've been doing it for, you know, half a dozen years or so. It's not something I've been doing all of my life. It's a mostly recent thing. And
So
I love it.
So in the chat, anybody that has questions for Matt, feel free. He's open to questions, and JP will share them as they go.
Michael Zercher said, do you have a bandsaw?
I do. I have a small bandsaw, and it's one of the only tools I actually purchased at the big box store, because I couldn't find one in my area on Craigslist. But yes, I have a 14-inch small bandsaw.
I want to touch upon a little bit of history with us, and a few things that we started, some that have ended, or one. At the beginning of the year, you had a brilliant idea with Ryan Bitters from Waylight Creations, which is another just spectacular channel, and it's a couple, so it's a team effort. Amy, Ryan. Oh, thank you, JP. That's also true. There's another thing there. We started Makers Rock, right? So that was a big deal. We had sponsors. Rockler was involved. So give us, you know, I don't want to go through the steps. I'll let you, but what sticks out from all that. Actually, I would want you to explain the Made by Nation and all that.
Okay.
And all of it, actually. Just hit us in a brief, like, back-to-back with all that stuff, because we do have a little bit of history,
Okay.
you and I,
Can
and
we
Ryan.
do you want me to do 10 seconds of Makers Rock and then go into that?
Yeah, do
Okay.
all your, yeah, do it.
All right, so here we go. Breaking news, internet, breaking news. Makers Rock is back for 2018. It's a simple premise. You make a 12 by 12, approximate 12 by 12 piece of artwork that mimics a album cover. We're doing the 90s rock, preferably. And you make it, and then you give it away. So I have makersrock.com. There's a sign-up sheet. You can put your name in to be a participant, and then you'll declare what album and artist you're doing. And then there's a timeline there. And it's all about promoting not only yourself, but promoting other participants as well. So the promotion is a big part of the whole thing. And it's just for fun. You know, you run your own contest, you give it away, and you self-promote everyone that's doing it. So makersrock.com has all the details. You know, sign-ups until January, and then you deliver it end of March.
Can you let them know if there's any limitation in tools and materials and all that?
Yep. The limitation is you recreate an album cover using any materials, any tool that you want. The only thing is it should be a wall hanging. It should be wall art. So, you know, put a little hanger on it so someone could hang it up. And it should be approximately 12 by 12 because that's what a traditional record album size was.
And who's been the past participants? There's some woodworkers out there, a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, Woodified, Midwest Man Mountain. You know,
No. I'm not going to let you go.
Man Mountain, Home and Garden DIY.
I love that guy.
He's the Tiffany Amber Thiessen of, you know, woodworkers. You know, the point is make a long name so you have to rattle it off. Yep. So, you know, it was Ryan Bitters. It was yourself, Eloy Escagedo. It was
Carmichael.
Yep. Shogun Jimmy. Steve Carmichael. Yep. Steve Carmichael. And
the woodworking
junkie, Alan Robinson, yeah, and several others as well. Miter Mike's Woodshop did it as well, and Woodified, and a couple other folks. Yeah, it's fun. It's all about self promotion, you know. It's a fun thing to do. And who doesn't love rock albums? Come on. Okay, Made by Nation. Want to go into that? So yeah. Makersrock.com is where you go. All the details are there. Makersrock.com. Super easy.
We've got another question from Sterling quickly. He wants to know if you're Team Scroll Saw or Team Router.
Interesting. I'd have to probably do Scroll Saw. I've done more creative Scroll Saw freehand work than I did creative router work. So Team Scroll Saw.
Yeah, I love you even more.
Am I back in the good graces of the community?
just an aside. Look what I received in the mail from Sterling Davis.
Oh man,
that's an art piece.
Beautiful.
Just look at that, guys.
Sterling, you're amazing. I love you, brother.
Thank you again, Sterling. Beatles.
Yeah, Sterling's the man.
So, Made by Nation.
Made by Nation, yeah. Okay, so that was sort of a reimagining of woodworking top videos that I did, and the whole point was to have a highly produced show, meaning great video captured with real cameras, not just the little webcams, and have it be edited so it would be primarily a highly visual, high-end video show with great audio. So in other words, not a Google Hangout. It would be something different. And I wanted it to feel like three people in the same room, you know, so we could, you know, if we ever were in the same physical place, we could do it live and people would understand this person's on the left, this one's in the middle, you know. And it was just a reimagining of highlighting videos in the community, because I'm all about promotion. You know, the rising tide floats all boats. We wanted to promote people who are doing awesome things. And you know, I even wanted to shoot on green screen and then replace the green screen just with a simple background, just to have one more element.
How overwhelmed? Remember you said, okay, guys, and let's get our green screen. How was that?
Well, there were technical challenges because to do it right, you would have to be able to break down your environment and put it back up exactly the way it was. In other words, the cameras would have to be in the same spot at the same zoom level, and the audio would have to be, you'd set your audio settings identical. The whole idea was, once we dialed it in, we wouldn't have to futz with it. Everyone's footage would be exactly the same as the one before, so it could all go in the editing program and then be spliced together. So having repeatable camera footage, the green screen just didn't work. It was just too hard to pull that off. And not that I wanted to put anything crazy on the green screen. I just wanted to kind of melt our backgrounds together so it would just have one more hint that we were in the same space. Again, making it a highly produced show and not just a recorded hang. And I wanted to edit out all the ums and things like that.
And also, did you mention, I don't know if you did, that we would actually go live with the webcams and have people come in on that live hangout, watching from the chat, and we would at the same time be filming the footage, right?
Speaking of that, we were one of the first, well, this might not be a true statement, one of the first that would take live comments and put them on the show. In other words, integrate them into the show. Because at the time it was podcast, or hangout. But yeah, riffing off of a live comment on the show, but having it be spliced in high-end professional was a good. It was different, and I think it worked really well. But frankly, external factors in life was really why it stopped. Period, full stop, end of sentence. But there were these other challenges, and it was.
There was a lot of creativity and activity coming from you guys. Something else also at that time. See, you put a lot of effort into promoting the community. Obviously, the goal is for everyone to benefit, because we're in it to get better and what. But you started something that I later, you guys brought me into, which was a Reddit forum or subreddit, which in my very spectacular, which is alive to this day. And you know how nasty Reddit can be. And in fact, you mentioned it was started at the same time, right? At the same time. When was that?
Yes, it probably predated it by a couple weeks, but yeah, it was right around the same time. We used that to make some announcements. We would publish who we were going to feature on the Reddit subreddit. It was Maker Community. It's r/Maker Community on Reddit.
And it's still active.
It's still active. And the idea was, well, let's make a place on Reddit that's not a cesspool. We'll mod it. It'll be different, and it'll be awesome. And it is.
If you're a woodworker or a maker and you go to Reddit, or if you're not exposed to Reddit, you're not aware of Reddit, or maybe just on the fringe of knowing, when you go in there, it's a point system, and people are, it's kind of like you're jumping into a sea of troll infested people, and so what happens is that you post something and you will get flagged, you will get removed, they'll curse you out, it'll get nasty. And the idea was to have that safe space where you can go in and as a community build up your score, and then at least for me, branch out and go and post your thing in like our videos and this and that, as opposed to going there and getting knocked out. To this day, it's still active, and every day people are posting in it. The member count is growing. So if you guys out there want another outlet to post your work, and it could be video, YouTube video, articles, comments. You know, there's rules to it. If you follow the rules, you're okay, and you won't get kicked, you know, around like you would most places on Reddit.
Yeah, it's social news feed is one way to describe it. The articles that have the highest upvotes get pushed to the top. So the whole point of Reddit space, which is called a subreddit for some reason, the whole point of a subreddit is the good stuff floats to the top. That's the point of it. But you're right. It has some. It's a different platform. You got to kind of get used to it. But now it's a great space. Go out there and post your stuff and like the stuff you like and comment on the stuff you want to comment. It's a good space.
JP?
It's obvious that you're well into promoting the community. One of the things that I wanted to know is when you're bringing back woodworking top videos.
No plans to bring back woodworking top videos. I don't know. Should I do it?
Yes, I think you should.
Well,
let's put it to a vote. I say.
Yeah, that was going good. That was
that was good. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Two other things before we go into your projects, and we'll send it to you to screen share and show people the cool projects, because it's really just, they're fun. They're all fun. But before we go there, I want to mention just the preamble to this is you have a video out there. Actually, you have two channels going on. You have Awesome Wood Things and Awesome Fun Things, which we'll touch upon. But before that, there's a lot that I like to ask you. Is that Prince video? That is freaking awesome, dude. That Prince video, man. Could you tell us? I mean, go ahead, tell us.
Oh, okay. Well, there is a interview of the Prince video on Ryan Bitter's Waylight Creation channel. So if you go in his back catalog, he interviews me about everything about that particular video, why I did it. But here's the short version. You know, I was inspired by the likes of Pat Lapp and some of the crazier type videos, and I wanted to do something different. At the time, Prince had passed away a couple weeks earlier, so there were a lot of tribute videos, and then they started to die down. Ryan Bitters made a piece of artwork of the Prince symbol and had a contest, and I entered the contest, and I won the contest. Just total random. So I wanted to do an unboxing video of it, and I'm like, all right, how can I take this up a notch? And I just started. I was just like, well, how about I lip sync to the Prince video? And I found some South Korean dance group dancing to parts of the song. They didn't dance to the whole, but it was choreographed. I was like, that's really cool. And I'm like, well, like, how can I make this awesome? I'm like, okay, let's take sexy female South Korean dancers and juxtapose them with Pat Lapp's face really close up. So that's the way the video cuts from the dancers right to Pat Lapp saying kiss. And you know, I danced around my shop. I got my South Korean friend to be in the video. She's in the video, and I interact with her a little bit. And I just go around and I cut different images. I grabbed all kinds of high-res images of Prince, and to the beat, they were flashing. It was all done with iMovie, which is miraculous. I was able to pull that off. And every second and it took a month to put that together. So, and I was putting out a video a week. I stopped all production. The first 15 seconds took 2 weeks to do. There
was that scene where you was taking your top off as well.
Yeah, that was fun because whatever the lyric was, I tried to do something appropriate. So it's like I know how to undress me was the lyric, so I had a step and repeat of a model taking his shirt off, and I superimposed my face on it. yeah, it was fun. You don't have to like Dynasty. I put a picture of Dynasty up, and you know, Dusk Till Dawn. I put a picture of the movie Dusk Till Dawn because he danced, and I just had fun with it. And it was a thank you to Ryan for me winning the contest. and it just reflects my personality. You know, anything goes, and it was fun, and I really liked it. And it only has like 1,000 likes. It's not. It's definitely not. It should be my highest performing video. Not that I'm making any AdSense on it because the record company is getting everything with it, but it was off. They took it off YouTube. But then
did they?
Yeah, it was off for about 3 months, and then it just showed back up. They must have. I didn't ask them, but it just did.
Well, it shows that you're willing to be, you know, quirky and adventurous. And again, all of it, your channel, the branding of it, Awesome Wood Things, your logo, the content inside. To me, it has a glue, and to me, it's like you expect Awesome Wood Things, and that's what you get. So it's very refreshing when I watch your videos. I was going to go into another thing because we're getting into Halloween and then going into Thanksgiving and then Christmas, but it's too early for the. But we did a song too at one point.
Oh God!
Yeah. I dressed up as Boy George. That was fun. Let's not talk about that one.
Yeah, let's not.
That was fun.
It was embarrassing for everyone.
I like to have fun. Fun is what I'm all about. You know,
touch on before we go to your. I've been saying we're going to go to your pictures and stuff for a while now, but before we do that, can you mention your secondary channel, because I think it's worth mentioning.
Okay. I'm trying to get to 100 subs. I have less than 50. So once I get to 100 subs, then I can put the vanity URL. So go sub it up. Search Awesome Fun Things on YouTube. Awesome Fun Things. And frankly, it's just things I do outside the shop. They're highly produced, you know, so I do like that. You know, I bought some very expensive editing software, and I'm like, well, I better use this. Although, to his credit, Patrick from Patrick's Workshop did give me high-end editing software, and I was going to install it, and then my son actually purchased and installed the full Final Cut Pro. So I'm like, you know, you just spent $300 on Dad's card. Anyway. So I thank you, Patrick. I'll never forget you gifting me that very expensive software. But anyway, so I paid for that software. I wanted to use it. And the whole point is I like to recall interaction. Again, story. I like story. So I want to recall interactions that I do outside the shop. And I like the meme faces that clarify the emotion. So the crying face, the happy face, the scared face, you know. So what I'll do is sometimes if I just have a still image, I'll recall the conversation and I'll do both sides of the conversation and I'll put a meme face on whoever's talking. It's just a fun, engaging way to supplement short clips of video with still images that kind of have motion and kind of fun and quirkiness. And, you know, that's what it is. It's all about the fun things I do outside the Awesome Fun Things. And the logo is the same, except different colors. The word awesome and the word things is the same font and the same location as Awesome Wood Things. Just the fun in the middle is different. And that's on purpose because I want the, and there's even some, if you put the eyedropper on the background color of the background, because look at the RGB values for that background color. That's all I'll say. I'll leave that to you. Anyway, it's Awesome Fun Things. If you want to watch me do crazy stuff, I'm going to go on a balloon 5K where they go over balloon obstacles, you know, inflatable obstacles. I'm going to a 5K or a heart walk, and I'm just doing all kinds of fun things.
You filmed a Guns N' Roses. You're telling stories at different locations, wherever that might be, and you were at the Guns N' Roses show as well.
That video talks about how I got offered the job and how I failed to go to the concert in 1994 because I wanted to go to the beach a day early and not see the Guns N' Roses concert for the Appetite for Destruction tour. And I'm like, if I could go back in time and smack my 20-year-old self. I wasn't even 21. I was 2 months shy of being 21. And I decided to go to the beach. The beach is always going to be there. It's not going anywhere. I didn't know Guns N' Roses would take 26 years to come back into town. So, Yeah, so that's the type of thing I kind of put in my videos where it's fun and entertaining and there's story behind, not just, you know, a video of a concert, which is kind of fun, but you know, it's more to it. You know, it's what I did when I was there. It's how I got offered the job. Blah 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 blah. It's fun. I think you'll like it. Awesome, fun things. Go give me a sub. I want to get those 100 subs to get my vanity URL going.
Yeah,
All right, so
I'll put the link over in the chat anyway. So
Awesome.
Do you have any more questions before we jump into showing the projects, JP, or out in the chat?
You had a donation from Snow Crusher, aka Greg.
Oh, Greg, dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Type in his channel. Go
Let's
check
go
out
back.
Greg sub Greg up in Canada.
Yeah, there's you got Heath Knuckles is over in the chat. Shogun Jimmy, Michael Zercher, Mida Mike, also Beedo, Chad, Portal Woodworks or David Jones, Templeboy Turnings is over there still. Russ Clarity's over there. Sterling's there. So Steve French is over there. So yeah, it's quite a packed room tonight.
All right, cool. So I hope I do this right. I'm gonna present Matt Haas and then he'll screen share. You got that under control, yes, Matt?
I'm ready.
Okay, so present to everyone.
You are presenting. Oh, it doesn't look like I have to do anything.
All you got to do is screen share on the left-hand side, so we can
Gotcha.
see your.
I will do this one and go. How about that?
Yep.
All right. So let me show you some of my stuff. This is my badass beer caddy. I gave this to my friend, and he's a beer connoisseur. He's actually going to do another video with me soon when I break open my the Tappist West Valetrian 12 beer that I got. So I have a rare high-end beer that I'm going to do. The bottle opener, it actually says it's on Mother Effer, but it's not censored out. that didn't appear on my channel. So this was all reclaimed materials. It's got
that rebar?
Yeah, it's a rebar. I had a piece of it was like 5 foot of rebar that my friend gave me. And I'm like, I'm going to use that piece of rebar. Yeah, it's total badass. That's what it was called too. It's called Badass Beer Caddy. Let me see if I can find my favorite project ever. I did some Pac-Man. See, I love the I love video games. So this is the Pac-Man fruit and that was done with the X-Carve with acrylic. But let me show you this. This guy this is the best project I think I have ever done. This is a creature from Doctor Who. It's an alien, and it looks evil. It looks disgusting, but it is a very gentle creature. And the whole point is, looks can be deceiving. Now, one episode they were possessed by the devil, but just discount that. But no, they are peace and love, and they're all throughout the universe. They travel through space and time. They're very wise, and that project took 27 steps, not 27 different actions. Like my original Instructable had 27 pages, and each page had several different actions on it. It's the most complicated thing I ever put together. The eyes glow separate from the sphere, and you can control that on the piece of artwork. The glass, has frosting on it. It has holes in it, and it's got paint on both sides. It's just the glass has 4 different treatments on it, and then the LEDs. I had to rig.
Just so people know, they're looking at, because people could get confused and think that, wait a second, is this a painting? They're looking at wall art, aren't they?
Yeah. This is a piece of art on my wall, and this isn't the actual a photo of the image. This is more of a graphic representation of it. But the yellow was vinyl that I cut on the vinyl cutter, and then the blue was spray paint background, and the things that glow didn't receive spray paint. There, you can see right through the glass, and the glass is frosted on the back. And then to keep the LED lights down, it's actually painted black on the back. It was a whole, I try and have short videos. This had to be 9.5 minutes. And it was just the bare minimum of stuff. I love that artwork. If anyone asks me to create that, I would do it. It'd be like $1,000, but I would love to do that again.
And the video was entertaining, super entertaining.
Yeah. Here is a cutting board I did with James Wright from Wood by Wright. His is on the bottom. He did the Pac-Man.
Yeah, I remember that.
And this was my first cutting board. And, every woodworker has to do a cutting board. Some people say, not me, but I did a cutting board. And I created the graphic by taking the actual image of those characters from the video game and drafting it up, and I gave James, what it was, and he did his all by hand, and I did mine on the table saw, and we made duplicates, and we gave each other the duplicate. So I have one, and he has mine. So, and I use both every day. I cut pizza on both of them, and they're showcases in my kitchen, and I have the ghost running towards the Pac-Man, like in the corner of my kitchen. It's actually really cool. And I never realized just how many cuts you have to make a cutting board. It's a lot of operations on the table saw to get that shaped and all together and finished. But yeah, it was table saw blades definitely more dull than it was. What do we got here? Oh, this was fun.
Oh, I love that one. That one was freaking awesome.
This is neat. So it's just a tape dispenser, scrap wood, and this long piece on the back is meant to clamp onto your desk so it doesn't slide around. It has spacers for the thing, and this is a hacksaw blade that I put on it, and then I just put some aluminum so the tape would stick to it. And I did the heat transfer with toner, so I have a wood burning tool and with a flat part on the wood burning tool, and it transfers the toner with the Gallifreyan artwork on the back.
Did you seal it afterwards or no? Because that was
No,
enough.
it's raw wood. It's raw. It's a shop. It's a shop tool. But and that was right around the point when I was getting good with editing too. And I got a little funky with this video. There's bloopers, and I go back, and it's the oops sound on the thing. So I tried to get fun with the video. Oh, here's this is not technically challenging by any stretch, but this is a video that's doing really, really well on my channel. It's just reclaimed wood that I made lawn ornaments out of.
Funny enough, that was the very first video that I ever come across when I found your channel.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you. I was really happy with this. And the candy canes in the store are usually really flat, like it's thin wood, or it's just a little bar. You can't see them far away. So I wanted something substantial, and these are like nothing on the market that I can tell. And they're 2.5, they're 3 feet high. They're not real big, but I lined my driveway with them, and it looks really.
What a trip!
Yeah. Oh, this was crazy. This is Cub Scout Award. So this is straight up scroll saw, and I use the CNC for the names and CNC for the lettering, but everything else is scroll saw, solid wood. This is
oak.
Yeah, this is oak. So I did 6 kids in 2016. They're like, "Oh, we want these again." I'm like, "Sorry." I'm not doing it. I was like, that has been discontinued in the Awesome Wood Things shop. But yeah, no. This I use the scroll saw and the router table and the CNC and just a whole bunch of tools went into this, and they really liked them. And people ask me for the file. They're like, I just got an email the other day. Can I have the file for that? No, I give it out. Never charge for any of that. Sci-fi stuff. Now this I think was creative.
Those were awesome.
This is more of a crafty thing, not woodworking, of course, but it's 8-bit video games with Doctor Who characters. So here's an Ood. This is that creature you saw earlier, and a Cyberman, a Weeping Angel, a Dalek, and the Potato Man. It's fun. It's fun. My wife taught me this technique. You put adhesive in the inside of the ornaments and put glitter on it, and so you touch it, it's just plastic because it's all on the inside of the ornament. Super fun. And those hang on our tree. And I'm like, don't make the Dalek mad. He'll kill you. He'll exterminate you. Oh, well, this is artwork for the Skull Challenge, Shogun Jimmy's Skull Challenge. So people were making badass skulls that were awesome, but I decided to kind of take it a happy direction. And this was a robot on the Doctor Who show, and it would display back to you the emotion that you were feeling. And if it ever got really sad or if you were anything but happy, it would eventually switch to this face. And if it did, in about 3 seconds, it would kill you. And it was a happy, fun-looking robot, which is sort of the opposite of the Ood. The Ood looks terrifying, but is very gentle. And this robot looks so cuddly and gentle, but it was absolutely evil because it became self-aware and decided that it was best to kill you if you were not happy. So this was the skull face it would show right before it killed you. And, that just goes to show you, don't judge by looks, don't judge things and people by what they look like, because you could be way wrong. And I think this piece of art is behind me. So once I stop screen sharing, you can see it. This is Flossed in Paradise, which was the vacation destination. Fifth Element. That's right. So this was the logo for the planet. And this was the cruise ship, which was a spaceship, but they built it to look like a cruise ship. And that's where the richest of the rich across the galaxy would come for vacation to see the Plava Laguna show. And I don't know. You'll notice, like, a lot of the art that I do, it's very line art oriented. So no shading, solid shapes. And with my background in design and doing textbook art, it's a lot of Adobe Illustrator, a lot of vector art. And that just transferred into what I'm passionate about visually. Now, I love photo. I'm an expert on Photoshop. I taught evening adult classes on Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign, and my own pre-press course that I created. And I did all levels. I did intermediate, moderate, or beginner, intermediate, and advanced courses in those desktop publishing programs. This is maybe not the best image.
I remember this one.
Yeah. Solid wood display case for my brother's eagle. He shot this eagle, which is 2 under par, which is the only thing better is a hole-in-one. So I made this case, and the card slips out. It's not glued, so the card is unmolested. It sits in there, trapped in the little grooves that I made, and has a little. So the pencil is the pencil he used during that game, and the ball is the ball that he used during the game. And then my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, shot an eagle a couple weeks later. So I made 2 at the same time, one for her and one for him, and they both display this.
They shot an eagle? That's horrible.
Well, that's the term when when you shoot the golf ball and it goes into the par.
Come on, Eloy.
That's just so terrible.
Oh, no. Oh, then here's what we were talking about, the Prince.
Yeah.
Love that video. Go check that out. Look on the back catalog of Awesome Wood Things. And
Yeah,
there's
I'll
an
post
epic
the link in the
unboxing.
chat for that already.
And I do have a short video that just points to the Waylight Creation interview video. So yeah, check that out as well. So these were some of the things I wanted to highlight. But
All right.
I tell you what, man, that oud, that was a great project. I love it. All that labor went in to make those eyes red. So I had to buy, a $17 string of LEDs and put them on there. And it's just those 2 itty bitty spaces that glow, but it's so worth it. So yeah. I'm
going to bring us back out.
Cool.
Yes.
So let me see. Do I stop screen share here? See if I can do that. There we go. Yeah, am I on the screen now? So yeah, look here. So here's the Floston Paradise artwork.
Yeah, that came out. That was a trip, dude.
Yeah, and this is just for fun. This right here is my name badge they gave me when I was on site at the Google offices. I was in Irvine at the Google off. I was invited to a meeting there, and that was fun. Like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It was like an awesome workspace, and they gave me the name badge, and I put that on my wall. And this is a video too, way back in the catalog. It's a 3-dimensional YouTube play icon, and yeah, it does the shadowing, because if you look closely at the YouTube icon, it has the inside shadow in the triangle. So that is actually a space. It's like a tube, and the backer is tilted. So when the shadow hits it, it forms the inside shadow going from shallow to full. Anyway, I thought it was fun.
I forgot to mention also with the Maker, our Reddit, the Maker community, it was started by you, Bitters, Ryan Bitters, and Shogun Jimmy, and then you guys brought me in. I just remembered I saw Shogun Jimmy earlier, his icon. Wanted to ask you another question here.
Scott Adams artwork. Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry, I'm in the
Are you
chat.
whispering under your breath?
Javi's asking me a question. Go
okay,
ahead.
go ahead. No, ask directly. Answer directly. Go ahead.
Oh, so he says, Matt, do you have any Scott Adams artwork? HH guide. No, but I got detention in high school for reading The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, because when the whale was ejected in one chapter, and then another chapter, they're on the planet's surface and there's a crater, and in the middle of the crater is a whale skeleton. I started busting out laughing, and I was like, I got detention because I disturbed the class. I love The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Javi's into CNC, and how long have you been working with CNC?
A little more than a year, but I used it for about a year, and then I haven't touched it in 6 months. So I had it for about a year and 6 months. It was right around the time when they were giving out X-Carves to everyone, even though I wasn't one of them. I had paid for my X-Carve. So yeah, but it's not working now. I connected the machine, and it's not working. And to Inventable's credit, I opened a help ticket, and they told me to do something to fix it, and I haven't done that yet. So we'll see.
So I want to.
And we've got a question from out in the chat. I'll get to it before Matt does. It says, Can Matt recommend any online stores to purchase vinyls from? I've seen him do a lot of projects with it in the past.
Sure. I get mine from inventables.com. They have a store. You don't have to own an X-Carve to buy stuff from their store. I just buy it in the sizes I want. And they have literally every color. Like when they made a press announcement of how they found the source, and they're like, just give us everything. So they have every color and texture and width that you can have. And they even have some cool vinyl where you can scrape away the surface and then it reveals a different color underneath. I don't use that. I like the real. Oh, what was that? Well, acrylic, or is that vinyl? Vinyl.
No, vinyl. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That answer was for acrylic. So that was the answer to the question you didn't ask. Vinyl. The wife gets that. I'm not sure where she gets all of her vinyl from. The thing there is there's different tackiness of the adhesive, and you should buy what makes sense. Everything from window cling with no tack to stuff that can go in the back of your car and will never come off. So that's what you want. And I don't know where she gets it.
And Bale says, when is the Contra wall art coming out? We need it.
When is the what coming out?
The Contra wall art.
Contra wall art?
Contra.
Contra. Okay. I'll get right on that.
Oh, it's just Bales being Bales.
Okay. Oh, that's an old video game. Yeah.
That's a super old video game, dude.
That I didn't yeah, I was more into Joust. Joust is my favorite video game.
The NES.
This machine behind
the NES, Nintendo.
Yeah, the NES. Yeah.
This black box right there is a computer that runs the MAME architecture, and I have all the coin-op video games on that I built myself. So I play Pac-Man and I play Joust on that machine.
Any other questions out there in the chat?
No. Oh, Jackman says, "Where is my Pat Lap?" I'd settle for Jamie, I guess.
Oh, here, I'll show you where he's at. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
He's right here. This is my acrylic
another video.
Yeah. My La Pic de Bois coaster in acrylic. Yeah.
So
Chapman says, don't get me excited, Mr. Haas.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Jackman. Paul. Party in the chat room. See, I wish I was in the chat room, not being a guest interviewee. Party in the chat room. I love you guys.
You got YouTube royalty here with today, Matt.
What was that?
Matt's got YouTube royalty watching him. Mr. Jackman.
So I want to... Oh, go ahead, JP. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I finished.
So I just, I wanted, so we're rounding home here. I just want to mention next week we're going to have Mancrafting TM. Some of you guys might know him. A lot of you know him. And we'll be interviewing Chad. So check that out. I don't know what poster art I'm going to do for Chad. I don't know if Chad will let me get experimental and crazy. We'll see. I'll have to ask him behind the scenes. But that'll be that. So you guys want to... Well, actually, let me do this because it's only the right thing. Yeah, give us a lowdown on future projects. Give us a lowdown on just any shout-outs you might want. You don't have to. And maybe leave us with a little life philosophy, a little tip, something that you go by. You don't have to, but it'd be nice.
Cool. All right, a few questions. Ever make a costume? No, never made a costume, but I did wear a Jawa costume when A New Hope was out when I was a little kid, and it had glowing eyes and everything. It was homemade, so that was a long time ago. Future projects, I'm going to do the Makers Rock album, so that will be in the works. I'm probably going to do something with gears. I'm really interested in the mechanics of the way the gears work. And I might even do a what not to do with your power tools series and just touch on things you should not. It's not going to be a drone on safety thing. I think it'd be fun to do, kind of put some humor into it, but have it be like dead serious. That's a couple things that are probably going to hit my channel, and more fun things on the Awesome Fun Things channel. Philosophy is, have fun, and bring your excitement to the video on YouTube. I think Steve Carmichael is a good example of that. You watch a Steve Carmichael video, he's having a good time. Like, he is just a happy, and he's having all kinds of fun in his shop. That's what I want. That's what I try to convey on my stuff. And yeah, it's all about having fun, awesome fun things, awesome wood things.
All right, JP.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I look forward to seeing Chad's stuff next week, especially some of his wood turning.
I'm gonna try and break the psychology of Chad. I don't know if it's been touched on, but we'll see how crazy that guy is. So everyone in the chat, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out and hanging with us. Next week it's Chad from Man Crafting. And Matt, you're awesome. We love you. And there's so many stories that we have not shared, including Ryan Bitters and just a bunch of things. But that's good for another time, sometime in the future, yeah?
Anytime you want. That's fine. I love talking to your disembodied head.
Okay, guys. Catch you next time. Thank you very much.
Love you, chat room. Thanks, JP.
Take it easy.
Thanks, Eloy.